think about, and I wanted to share it with you guys this week, is just, hey, when we put our trust in things and we follow through on them, right? Usually we end up finding out we have everything we needed to be successful, to thrive. And so one of the ideas that's been floating around me in my space is, hey, when I trust or have faith in God and walk in that faith, He always provides everything I need to thrive. And one of the stories in the Bible that it made me think about is the story of Elijah, and it's after he's done this miracle, in a sense, and checked this King Ahab for his unfaithfulness to the Lord. He then has this big moment, like a lot of our team players will have, or our students will have, but then he has this big obstacle waiting for him once the lights cut off. And he's now in exile. He's now running from Ahab. He's being persecuted. He went from being this all-powerful prophet, in a sense, used by the Lord, to now he's being fed by ravens, bread and water, and just surviving. And what ends up happening is he caused this drought, but because he caused this drought, the same tree that was giving him water at the time from the Lord, this tree dries up because the Lord didn't necessarily make this miracle happen outside of the seasons He's already ordained within the earth. And so the Lord tells him to get up, go to a place called Zarephath. And when he gets there, he gets in a space in which I'm about to read to you guys briefly. He arose and went, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, a widow was there gathering sticks. And he called to her and said, bring me a little water in a vessel, and I may drink it. Now, this widow had less than he had. And in the story, she's literally going gathering these sticks so she can make a fire and make some bread with a flour and a little bit of oil she has left, right? In order to feed her and her son and die. She's in a situation where she's lost hope. She's lost her ability to feed herself, culturally wise, because at that time frame, that was dependent upon her husband. And now she's just given up hope. She's going to eat this bread and she's going to die. And she just happens to run into a prophet of the Lord. And the prophet of the Lord in his low places happens to run into her. But despite that, what we see is because Elijah goes there and he's obedient to the Lord, and then she goes and she's obedient to Elijah, who's the Lord's telling him to basically tell her, hey, I know you ain't got much. You might only have a biscuit, but I want half of it. And because she's obedient and has trust, even if she doesn't realize it, in faith in this man of God, right? He ends up blessing her through what the Lord's telling him. And she ends up going back home with this pot that she thought was empty. It never goes dry. This pot on which of flour and which of water and which of oil, it never actually goes dry because she didn't realize the Lord had already given her a way to not only succeed, because we don't always find the same levels of success. Any culture, any teacher would tell our students, hey, what you define as success right now is going to look different over time. But He gives them both the ability to thrive. Now Elijah has a home in this widow. And the widow has enough to make it through this drought. And so what I want to encourage you guys is, hey man, what are we teaching our students? What are we displaying ourselves when it comes to what we believe? And I'm not just talking about our faith walk, even though that's a lot of it. Do your students see the way you want them to act as an athlete, even when you don't say a word? The one applicational piece that I'll give you guys is one of my favorite inspirational speakers. He's not a very religious one just yet, but he's getting there. He told some folks that he was speaking to, he told them, hey, when you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I love that phrase, but I would revamp that phrase a little bit. What I would say is, when you can depend on the Lord and how He's ordained and placed you in this season, in every step, that's when you really will begin to thrive in everything that you guys have in front of you. I'm so grateful.